Hi, guys. Great evening, everyone. Thank you so very much for joining us again on another exciting Upgrade Mastery just for you, Mr. Upgrade. Yes, this is Mr. Upgrade, and this is another amazing, interesting time for us to have the Upgrade Mastery just for you, which we do every Friday, basically. Every Fridays, we get to do upgrade mastery just for you that goes on from 7 p.m. to the 8 p.m. And we basically just get to share our experiences from the week, the challenges we face, the things we're able to achieve, the successes or the failures we have, so that we can look back on our week and actually take the learnings from the week that we can now take into the new week to do better in the new week. So for this week, we're super excited that we have something we're going to talk about later on in the conversation. This week, we're going to talk about grateful. Yes, grateful. And it's often said that anyone who is not grateful is a great fool, right? So we don't expect the people here to be fools, so we expect that they will be great fool. So before we get into the conversation on grateful, how are you? We always like to start off our upgrade mastery just for you by checking out on you. How are you doing? How are you holding up? Right? How is April going for you? Right? How is the second quarter in 2024 going for you? What are the plans that you have? What are the things you're set out to do? How is it like for you? What disappointments or difficulties have you encountered during this week? Right? The week has come and has gone. Right? So now you get to learn from what happened this week as you prepare for the new week. So how are you doing? Let us know where you're also watching from, and then feel free to drop a comment, right? Because we really want to get feedback from you to know how you're doing, how you're holding up, what are the challenges you may be facing, and how are things looking up for you, right? Just let's know about you because it's important because this is upgrade mastery just for you. It's just for you, not for anyone else, just for you. You are the reason why we are doing this at this time because of how important you are to us and because of how important your upgrade is to us. So we say that this is upgrade mastery just for you. We basically just get to let our head down, share our strengths from the week, and just have a great time. Literally, we just have a great time together just to learn of each other, knowing that iron sharpens iron, so every man the countenance of his friend. So, how was your week? What did you do this week? My week was interesting. Yeah, my week was interesting. My week was amazing. I had some setbacks. And I also got some learning points. I had an amazing week, so to speak. Right, I had a feedback that was not so I stumbled on some of the things I wrote 10 years ago, right? I think I'll share a bit of that online. But I stumbled on some things I wrote 10 years ago, and it just looked like how time flies. Something I wrote in 2014, and I stumbled upon it in my mail, and I was like, wow, I've really been doing this writing thing. Then I used to do spoken word poetry, right? So I've really been doing this writing thing, and I've actually been doing it well all this while. So we've come a long way on the writing journey, right? And that was just amazing. And also, we also are getting close to hitting the 60 million plays mark on our podcast, like the Let's Talk podcast with Emmanuel, about to hit 16 million plays. That is huge. Literally, that is huge. And also, this week was supposed to be Uganda, Kampala, for the African 40 CEOs Award, but unfortunately, we're not able to be there. But the event has been going on amazingly. I've been following them online. I've been seeing the things that they've been doing. They've been having a great time and all of that. But it's just unfortunate that we're not going to be with them in Uganda, Kampala. But it's still going amazing, right? So that's how my week has been so far. How has your week been? It's about you, right? This is upgrade mastery just for you. It's not upgrade mastery just for me. It's upgrade mastery just for you. So, what's up with you? What are you up to? What was your week like? What were the things that you really did not appreciate, but it did happen, right? But you need to come over it, right? Because whether you like it or not, it's done and dusted. A new week beckons, so you must prepare yourself for the new week that's about to come, right? So today's conversation, and like we always get to do the review of all the things that we share during the week through our belief system sessions, right? Our belief system sessions are super, super amazing. They are the things that we get to use to inspire our audience online on Instagram all through the week. So from Monday through Friday, we have things that we put out to help people get better on their journey. All right. So for this week, we had an amazing session all through the belief system sessions for this week, right? So we started off this week by talking about follow who knows the way, right? And then we went on to talk about focus on improving, and then we talk about improving yourself, help others. We talked about celebrate yourself, and then we talked about grateful. Now, those are the things we talked about during the belief system session for this week, from Monday through Friday. And I'm going to run us through each of those days so we can really understand what it was like, so we can catch up before we get to talk about grateful. See, guys, you do not want to miss the conversation on grateful, because there's a lot that you need to be grateful for. There's a lot that you are taking for granted. There's a lot that you need to recognize that is happening with you, and you should be excited and be grateful for. Right? So let's begin our conversation this week, where we started out by talking about follow who knows the way. Now, it's not just enough to follow anybody. It's not just enough to follow, right? In the social media era, one of the things that is prominent is following, right? You see people do follow for follow. People say follow me. You see people try to do campaigns, try to do giveaways, try to do promotions so that they can get more following, right? So we live in an era where following is very important. People say, oh, I have XYZ number of followers, XYZ number of following, and all of that. So following is important, right? So, but beyond social media, and even social media inclusive, you don't just need to follow randomly. You need to follow who knows the way. And that's what we started out this week, to let our audience, to let you know who are you following, right? Because it's important that you pay attention to the people that you follow, right? You must pay attention to the people that you follow. So we started out by talking about follow who knows the way. Follow who knows the way. And what did we discuss on follow who knows the way? We looked at the scripture, started out by saying, follow who knows the way so you can be guided along the journey of life. So we do not want you to live life unguarded. We do not want you to live life unguided, right? So how you can be guided is when you follow who knows the way. All right, so we said, follow who knows the way so you can be guided along your journey of life. And then we looked at the example where Jesus said that I am the way, speaking to his disciples, said, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life, right? Hence, following him was the wise thing to do. Even when Peter asked him that we have left everything to follow you, we've left everything to follow you, what is our reward? And he told Peter that everything you've left in this life, you will get 100-fold. And in the world to come, you get eternal life, right? So which means following who knows the way is the wisest decision you will ever make, literally, because you are sure, guaranteed of the journey and the arrival at the destination, because you are following the one who knows the way, right? Jesus knows the way. Hence, he said, I am the way. I am the way. Now, we said there are three simple reasons to follow who knows the way. Number one, for direction. Number two, for guidance. And number three, for counsel. This is the reason why you follow who knows the way. For direction, for guidance, and for counsel. Very, very important. And then we're going to say, everyone seems to be walking, but not everyone knows the way. Right? Everyone seems to be walking, but not everyone knows the way. So follow those who know the way. Whereas to say, those who know the way, the one who knows the way will never lead you astray. Do you get that? The one who knows the way will never lead you astray. Now, I went on to say, when you don't know the way, it is wisdom to ask questions and then follow the one who knows the way. So when you don't know the way, it's okay. But it's wisdom. When you don't know the way, it's okay. But it's wisdom to now ask questions and then follow the one who knows the way. And went on to say, everyone is following someone, but ensure the one you are following knows the way. Right? And we wrapped up that conversation by saying that who you follow is making you. So ensure you follow the one who knows the way. So that's how I started off the week, by telling us to follow who knows the way. And then we went on from that to talk about focus on improving yourself. Now that you're following the one who knows the way, it's also important that you focus on that journey on improving yourself. Now, why is that important? Why is that conversation important for us? I'll tell you why. People will only need you to the degree you are an asset to them. So, focus on improving yourself. No one wants a liability. Everyone wants an asset. So people will only need you to the degree that you are an asset to them. So focus on improving yourself. I went on to talk about when in scripture, Paul and Barnabas had some disagreement about John Mark. And as a result of that disagreement, Paul went with Silas and Barnabas went with John Mark. Right? But later in Paul's journey, Paul requested Timothy to send for John Mark to come be with him. Now, the reason that was even possible is because John Mark focused on improving himself. He didn't allow the disagreement or the rejection at that time of Paul to get to him, that he would lose sight of improving himself. So he focused on improving himself to the point where Saul, that was now Paul, saw that John Mark was an asset. So he had to send for him. And you also realize that it was this same John Mark that wrote the book of Mark. So you must focus on improving yourself. Very important. You must focus on improving yourself. I often say that the best revenge is success. But I dare tell you that the best revenge is to focus on improving yourself. Because when you do that, you become successful. Because success, it doesn't always mean the same thing for everyone. So people say the best revenge is success. I say no, the best revenge is to focus on improving yourself. Because when you do that, you become successful. Right? So focus on improving yourself. And we said there are 3 simple reasons to focus on improving yourself. Number 1, you become an asset. Why you should focus on improving yourself is 1, it helps you become an asset. You become too good to be ignored. You become an asset. Number 2, when you focus on improving yourself, you develop capacity and competence. You develop capacity and competence. And then number 3, you attain relevance and significance. So this is why it's important that you focus on improving yourself. Don't be distracted by what other people are doing or saying. Just focus on improving yourself. Because when you focus on improving yourself, guess what? You become an asset, you develop capacity and competence, and you attain relevance and significance because you have just focused on improving yourself. You say, time spent chasing people should be invested in building yourself. The time you spend in chasing people, the time you spend in trying to make people to notice you, the time you try to spend to make people look at your side or to pay your attention, spend that same time to focus on improving yourself. When you improve yourself, people would come to meet you. People will come to look for you. People will come to search you out. You know, they say when you set yourself on fire, the world will come to watch you burn. So focus on improving yourself. You see, people need who you are, and who you are comes down to how you focus on improving yourself. People need who you are, right? And who you are comes down to you focus on improving yourself. Very important. We went on to say, nobody likes you just for liking sake. That's the truth. Even if you find out how to believe, that's the truth. Nobody likes you just for liking sake. They like you because of what liking you is doing for them. That's why they like you. They like you because what liking you is doing for them. And you see, if you are a liability, at the slightest opportunity, people will discard you. Never forget this. If you are a liability, at the slightest opportunity, people will discard you. So focus on improving yourself, right? Focus on becoming an asset. Else you become a liability, and at the slightest opportunity, you get discarded. Also, went on to say that you are getting too distracted with frivolities when you should focus on improving yourself. Stop getting distracted with frivolities. Just focus on improving yourself. That's all. That's all. Then we moved on from that to say improving yourself helps improve others. Now, this is how it works. It's like a ripple effect. As you improve yourself, it becomes easy to help improve others because you literally cannot give what you don't have. Right? So we started off that conversation by saying just because you cannot give what you don't have, improving yourself helps to improve others. Because you would not be able to give what you don't have, improving yourself helps to improve others. And we went on to use the analogy of Joseph. We said that one of the takeaway from the story of Joseph is the fact that Joseph, being prime minister, afforded him the opportunity to be able to give his father and his brothers and their families a better life all throughout the years of famine and beyond. Why? Because Joseph had improved himself. So he was now in the privileged position to be able to afford the life that is comfortable for his father, his brothers, and their families when they moved from Israel to Egypt while there was famine and the whole world was coming to Egypt to buy food. Now, see this. If Joseph had not improved himself through the process of slavery, Potiphar's house, and prison, he wouldn't have become the man to who Pharaoh could entrust the whole of Egypt to his hands. So even when the brothers felt bad for what they had done to him, because he had improved himself, he told them that you meant it for evil, but God turned it around for good. So guys, you must focus on improving yourself. Stop hating, envying, or being jealous of another. Just focus on improving yourself. That's all you need to do. You don't need to have hate. You don't need to be jealous. You don't need to envy. Just take all that energy and put it in improving yourself. I would say there are three simple reasons improving yourself helps improve others. Number one, it helps them raise their standard. So as you improve yourself, It helps other people to raise their own standard because you have raised your standard. Number two, it gives them inspiration and motivation. So your life becomes an inspiration and motivation for others. Number three, it shows them what is possible. So looking at you, they could see that, oh, if it's possible for you, then it's possible for them. Your life just shows them what is possible. And we said here, success is impacting your world with the investment of your personality. So improving yourself helps to improve others. We went further on to explain that you cannot help improve others if you have not first improved yourself. Why? You cannot give what you don't have. Right? And then we went on to say, just as you cannot drink, just as you can drink from an empty cup, you cannot drink, just as you can drink with an empty cup. So you can drink with an empty cup, but you cannot drink from an empty cup. Which means for an empty cup, you can pour drink into it and you can drink from it. You can drink with it, but you cannot drink from an empty cup. A cup that is already empty, there's nothing you can drink from it. Does that make sense? Right? So just as you can drink with an empty cup, you cannot drink from an empty cup. So you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot pour what's not in you. So you need to focus on improving yourself because improving yourself helps to improve others. Now, as you improve yourself, your mindset, your disposition, your attitude, as they improve, it also helps other people too to improve. I went on to say that it is easy to feel others from the overflow that you possess. So improving yourself makes improving others a walk in the park. It is easy to feel others from the overflow that you currently possess, which makes improving yourself become easy and a walk in the park for improving others. Right? Is this making sense for you? Great. Now, wrap that up by saying, if you ever have a reason to improve yourself, just be reminded that improving yourself helps improve others. If you have never had a reason for you to improve yourself, just be reminded that improving yourself helps to improve others. Just always be reminded about that. Right? And then we went on from there to talk about something very dear. Now, first, you started out by telling us this week that it's important that we follow who know the way. And then we went on to say, focus on improving yourself. And then we went on to say, improving yourself helps improve others. And then we went on to something very personal and something very important for everyone, which is celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. You know, one of the things that people don't really do to themselves is to actually celebrate themselves. Like they believe that, oh, they're not doing enough, or they're not putting as much as they could, which is okay. Yes, I know that the largest room in the world is the room for improvement, right? But you must always learn not to be too hard on yourself. Because the truth is this, you're trying. Yes, I know you're trying. So you must learn to also celebrate yourself. That is a very important thing you need to get comfortable doing. Learn to celebrate yourself. And that was the conversation we also had during the week. Celebrate yourself. Right? At this time, you learn to celebrate yourself. Put your hands together for yourself. Tap yourself on the back and say, yes, you're doing well. Give yourself a hug. Like, you're doing well. Celebrate yourself. Even if no one's going to celebrate you, you must learn to celebrate yourself. Right? You see, those of you who grew up in Nigeria back in the day, you see when the lizard falls from the wall, it lands on the ground and then it nods its head. That's like literally the lizard celebrating itself for that great feat. So you too must learn to celebrate yourself. And then we talked about this in this light. We said, you are not where you used to be. You have made progress, no matter how little. It is okay to celebrate used to be. You have made progress, no matter how little. So it's okay to learn to celebrate yourself, right? And we moved on and we said that, when the children of Israel left Egypt and they had crossed the Red Sea and Pharaoh and all his army has been consumed in the Red Sea, they offered up praises to God, celebrating God for the victory. And then they were also grateful that they are no longer slaves because they've been slaves for 430 years. So now they could celebrate themselves, knowing that they were literally now free from the bondage of slavery for over 430 years. It was now over, right? We said there are three simple reasons why you must learn to celebrate yourself. Number one, you are making progress. Yes, you are not where you used to be. You are making progress. So learn to celebrate yourself. Number two, you deserve the celebration. You deserve to celebrate yourself, right? And number three, you are doing well. You are doing well. So celebrate yourself. Don't be held back by, oh, what's not working, the challenges. No. Don't get yourself in that fix. Celebrate yourself. You are doing well. You are doing well. You're making progress. You deserve the celebration. You are doing well. Right? We say as much as the result is the goal, the effort is also worth celebrating. So celebrate yourself. At some point, it's important that we realize that we must learn to celebrate progress. You must learn to celebrate effort, not only just the result. We must learn to also celebrate effort because it's the effort that produces the result. So sometimes, even when the effort don't produce the kind of result, still celebrate the effort. You must learn to celebrate yourself, right? It's very important. Now, we went on to say, interestingly, when you celebrate yourself, you won't be waiting or craving the celebration from people. When you learn to celebrate yourself, you won't be waiting or craving the celebration from people. You see, it's a sign of a healthy self-esteem to be able to celebrate yourself, knowing that you are doing well, knowing that you are making progress, knowing that you are not where you used to be. It's a healthy self-esteem. And went on to say, celebrate yourself because you don't look like what you have been through. You don't look like what you have been through, so celebrate yourself. You know the hurt, you know the pain, you know the trauma, you know the abuse, you know what you have been through, but you don't look like it. So celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. All right? And then we said sometimes you validate your progress when you learn to celebrate yourself. You put a stamp of approval on your progress when you learn to celebrate yourself. So this weekend, celebrate yourself. Take yourself out. You're doing well. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself, right? You must be able to learn how to celebrate yourself. Finally, we wrapped up by saying learning to celebrate yourself is celebrate with you. So learn to celebrate yourself. You won't be needing people to celebrate with you. And finally, we wrapped up our conversation on the belief system by talking about grateful. And that's what we'll pick up for today's conversation. Grateful. Right? Grateful. I don't know how many people are grateful. If you're grateful, just write grateful in the comments so I know that you're truly grateful. Just write grateful, right? Grateful is very important. And we said here, regardless of how things are with you at the moment, things only get better when you are grateful. I'd like you to let that sink in for a bit. Regardless of how things are with you at the moment, yeah, things may be bad, things may not make sense, things may look rough. Regardless of how things are for you at the moment, things only get better when you are grateful. That means that to get out of a situation that you don't like, you need to be grateful. That's how you get out. Being ungrateful keeps you more in that situation. And that's the twist. right? Because you feel like being ungrateful will help you come out because you're not happy. But the truth is this: you must learn to be grateful for where you are, regardless of how it is, and that's how you get out of it to where you want to be. It just looks like it's ironical, but that's what it is. So the more you complain, the more you stay fixed in the situation. But when you start being grateful, the more you get out of the situation. So if you see that you have been in a place for far too long, it's time to be grateful so you can get out. But when you complain, you remain there. Is this making sense? When you complain, you remain there. When you are grateful, you get out. And we said here, remember when Jesus was with the multitude who had been with him for 3 days and they were hungry and they didn't have anything to feed them with. They didn't have enough food, they didn't have enough money, yet they just had a little boy's lunch of 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Yet Jesus took them, was grateful, and then shared it to the disciples to share it to the multitude. And the multitude ate to their full. A multitude that had over 5,000 men, excluding women and children. And you know that in gatherings where you have women and children, they are always more than the men. So if the men were 5,000, the women and children should have been over 10,000. Yet they all had enough to eat and to spare because Christ was grateful for the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes. Right? So if you want to get out of the situation you are in that you don't like, to be grateful is the key. To be grateful. Right? Now, we said there are 3 simple reasons to be grateful. Number 1, you are making progress. To be grateful. You are not where you used to be. Even if you are not where you want to be, you are not where you used to be. So you are making progress. So be grateful. Number 2 is that you are growing, evolving, and maturing. So be grateful. You are growing, you are evolving, you are maturing. So you should be grateful. Right? The way you used to react or respond to things are no longer the way you respond to things. You should be grateful. Right? And then we said, number 3, you are alive. And life goes on. So you be grateful you are alive. Some people are dead. They say there's yet hope for the living. A living dog is better than a dead lion. You are alive. If not for anything that you are alive, be grateful. Some people are dead. Some people younger than you are dead. Some people older than you are dead. Some people wealthier than you are dead. But you are alive. So be grateful. Right? And went on to say that life is easier when you cultivate the lifestyle of being grateful. You make your life easy when you cultivate the lifestyle of being grateful. You know, Scripture says we should give thanks in all things. Good things, give thanks. Bad things, give thanks. In all things, we should give thanks, which means we should be grateful in all conditions of life. You should be grateful. So not only when things are going the way you expect, you should be grateful. No, even when things are not going the way you expect, still be grateful. Why? Because life is easier when you cultivate the lifestyle of being grateful. Right? And we went on to also say that when you can't see what to be grateful for, it is proof that you are not looking hard enough. When you can't see what to be grateful for, it is proof you're not looking hard enough, because all around you are more than enough things to be grateful for life, for health, for strength, for sound mind, for wisdom, for family, for friends, for association. There are more than enough things to be grateful for. For the fact that you can eat and your food digests, for the fact that you can breathe with your own nose, there's more than enough things to be grateful for. Right? When you can see what you want to be grateful for, or when you can see what to be grateful for, it is proof you're not looking hard enough. Because there's enough to be grateful for. It's enough to be grateful for. Right? Until you learn to be grateful, what you are ungrateful for about still won't change. And I told us this earlier. Until you learn to be grateful, the things that you are ungrateful about still won't change. So you just keep yourself in a loop for no reason because you refuse to be grateful. So break the loop by being grateful. When you are not grateful, you keep yourself in the loop because the things you are ungrateful for, they still will not change. They still will not change. And I went on to say that when you are grateful, you always feel positive and optimistic about life. Yes, when you are grateful, you always feel positive and optimistic about life. And I went on to say, be grateful because you are not where you used to be, even though you are not where you want to be. So be grateful. So that leads us to our conversation for today, which is grateful. Are you excited? Are you ready? So let's look at grateful, right? Let's look at grateful. Now, grateful, Grateful, grateful. So let's quickly talk about grateful so that we can call this a wrap for this conversation today. I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you followed the Mr. Upgrade Global channel on YouTube. I'm grateful that you tell people about the channel. I'm grateful that you learn from here. I'm grateful that you go and practice your learning. I'm grateful that you share your testimonials. I'm just grateful for you. I'm grateful that you can literally see your life upgrade. I'm grateful for you. Right? I'm grateful to have you. I'm grateful. I'm super grateful. Right? So when we talk about grateful, what do we actually mean? Grateful, grateful. What do we mean? Now, the G in grateful talks about growth, right? Life is a journey, and all of us are on our life's journey to the day we breathe our last, right? And on that journey, there's something that is constant, which is growth. Whether you are intentional or not, you will grow. That's the truth. Physical growth is there. Right? Whether you like it or not, you will grow. So you should be grateful for growth. The G in grateful is growth because you are growing. You are becoming better than you used to be. Right? You're becoming wiser. You're becoming smarter. You're becoming more emotionally intelligent. There is growth. So you should be grateful. The way you used to respond to things before are no longer the way you respond to things now. You should be grateful for that growth. Literally, I was having a conversation earlier in the week with a group of people, and the feedback were a bit what I wasn't expecting. And I just saw the way I was responding. I could literally tell that yes, I have literally grown. Because the old me would have taken that another light. But I was just calm. I was just peaceful. I was just polite. I was just loving with my responses. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that kind of growth. Right? So the G in grateful is growth. Regardless of where you think you are now, if you truly look back, you would see how far you have grown. You see how far you have grown because there is growth in your life. Even from the beginning of the year till now, there is one area of your life you can be sure of that you have seen growth. Whether it's your relationship, whether it's your finances, whether it's your academics, whether it's your business, whether it's your spirituality, whether it's your health. If you are intentional, you will see an area of growth you should be grateful for. So the G in grateful is growth. You're making progress. You are growing. You are not where you used to be. Even though you may not be where you want to be, but you have made progress. There is growth. And for that, you should be grateful. You should be grateful. Don't wait till end of the year Thanksgiving for you to be grateful. Have a daily practice of being grateful. I'm grateful for growth. I'm grateful for the experiences I'm having in my life. I'm grateful. right? I'm grateful because the truth is everything is working together for your good. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything is working together for your good. So you should be grateful for growth. So the G in grateful is growth, right? Now the R in grateful is responsibility. You see, the truth of the matter is as you grow, you're becoming more responsible. You're becoming more responsible. You're not just there, you are taking more responsibility. You should be grateful. You are doing things that people would not even have believed you could do. You should be grateful because that's you taking responsibility. You are taking initiative. You should be grateful for the opportunity to even see the avenue to take initiative. You should be grateful, right? You should be grateful for responsibility. So the arrow in grateful is responsibility. You're not just sitting down idle, you're taking initiative, you are being proactive. It's responsibility. While others are backing out, while others are trying to make excuses, you're grateful for opportunity to take responsibility. And you know, they say responsibility is your ability to respond, is your responsibility. Be grateful for that. Helping people, it's a privilege. Be grateful to take on that responsibility to help. It's something you should be grateful for. Being in a group, serving in a committee, serving in a unit is something you should be grateful for because that is an opportunity for you to show responsibility. And the arrow in grateful is responsibility. Remember, I told you earlier, nobody wants a liability, everyone wants an asset. So you should be grateful for the privilege to be an asset to people by how you take responsibility. Is that making sense? So you should be grateful because the arrow in grateful is responsibility. When someone is calling you to help out, it's because they believe in your ability. So take up that responsibility to actually do it and do it with excellence. So be grateful for the responsibility. Be grateful. You know, even scripture says that if we choose not to praise him, God is able to raise up stones to praise him, which lets us know that praising him is a responsibility we should be grateful for. Because if we don't do it, there are others who would do it. So we should be grateful for that responsibility to even praise him. You should be grateful. Right? So the arrow in grateful is responsibility. The A in grateful is your ability. You know, I always use the analogy of the parable of the talents, where the master gave them talents according to their ability. The one he gave 5 went to work with the 5 and got 5 more. The one he gave 2 went to work with the 2 and got 2 more. The one he gave 1 did nothing and hid it in the ground. Then when the master came and took account of what had happened, the one he gave 5 brought 5 more and was rewarded. The one he gave 2 brought 2 more and was rewarded. The one he gave 1 came back with the 1 and was punished. That you have is something that you can do. That ability that you have, you should be grateful for it. Because there are a lot of people who are lacking ability. There are a lot of people who are not making use of their ability. They are like that one servant who went to dig his in the ground. But you have yours. You have discovered it and you are using it. You should be grateful because you have an ability. The truth is this, everyone has ability. But those who put theirs to use now develop their ability to become capacity to become capability, to become competent. So you should be grateful for your ability. See, the little thing you think you have as ability is more than enough. It's just you that is not grateful for your ability. That's why you're not seeing it amplified. Just like Jesus was grateful for the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, and they multiplied and were able to feed 5,000 men, excluding women and children. And there were 12 baskets left over. Why? Because he was grateful with the little ability he had of 5 loaves and 2 fishes, which means for the ability that you have, whether it's in speaking, in writing, in counseling, in selling, whatever ability you have, be grateful for it. And as you are grateful for it, your ability begins to multiply. The ability begins to multiply. So be grateful for the ability that you have. Be super grateful for the ability that you have. That's how you see it grow. That's how you see it multiply. When you're grateful for your ability, right? And then the T in grateful is trust. Trust. You should be grateful that people can trust you. You should be grateful that you can even trust yourself. You hear people say, "Oh, I can't even trust myself." What? Really? No! Trust yourself. Be grateful for the ability to trust yourself. To know that there are some things that no matter what happens, you can never do. Be grateful that you can trust yourself. Literally, you should be grateful that you can trust yourself. So the T in grateful is trust. Trust, regardless of what happens. You should be a person of trust. You should be trustworthy, and you should be grateful for that. People should be grateful that they can trust you. People should be grateful that they can commit things to you and it will succeed. Because they have trust in your ability. So you should be grateful for that. Right? So the T in grateful is trust. People can commit tasks, assignments to you, and they will see amazing results because they trust you to deliver and you trust yourself to also deliver. So be grateful for that trust. I often tell people this: trust is a small word, but a big concept, very big concept. Right? And when people can trust you, you should be grateful. Because we live in a world where trust is fading out. Trust is going, it's being thrown away through the window. People are compromising left, right, and center. But if you can be a person who is trustworthy, you should be grateful for that. That you have personal integrity, you have discipline in yourself. You should be grateful for that. So the T in grateful is trust. Now, the E in grateful is excellence. Excellence. You must be a person of excellence. See, mediocrity is subpar. Mediocrity is substandard. Right? Mediocrity is an abuse of your ability. I like that. Mediocrity is an abuse of your ability. Please, somebody write that down. Mediocrity is an abuse of your ability, right? Mediocrity is an abuse of your ability. So you must be excellent. You must put in the work, put in the effort. You must be excellent. You must ensure that you become the standard. You must be excellent. Because people will be grateful to you because of your excellence. They'll be grateful for you because of your excellence. So you must be excellent. And excellence is simple, it's paying attention to details. It is paying attention to details. So you must become that person who pays attention to details. Don't do things haphazardly. Don't do things anyhow. Don't do things like one who has a gabagebe spirit. No, be excellent. When you are excellent, people will be grateful to have you in their lives. And you also be grateful to your ability, because mediocrity is an abuse to your ability. Literally, mediocrity is an abuse to your ability. So you have to be grateful. Do you get that? Mediocrity is an abuse to your ability. So you have to be grateful and you have to be excellent. You have to be. You just cannot afford not to be excellent. You cannot afford that. It's too expensive to be a mediocre. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. Right? And then the F in grateful is focus. You know, we are very quick to see what's not working. We are very quick to see the areas where we are lagging behind. We are very quick to see the areas where we are falling short. But the truth is this: whatever you focus on, you magnify, you amplify. So it's best that you focus on the things that are working, right? It's always best you focus on the things that are working. That is when you will see what to be grateful for. So you see somebody who's complaining to say, "Oh, I don't have good shoes," but you have your 2 feet. There are people who have good shoes, but they don't have feet to even wear them. Is that making sense? So you must become that person that focus on the right things. Yes, at some point in your life, there may be some areas that are not working. Be some areas that need improvement. There may be some areas that really you are not proud of. Don't focus on those areas. Focus on the areas where you are doing well. Focus on the areas where you are proud of. Focus on the areas where things are making sense to you, so you can be grateful. You're saying, "Oh, I don't have a house," but you can be able to pay rent. Be grateful. You say, "Oh, I don't have a car," but you can be able to afford transportation. Be grateful. Focus on the things that you have, not the things that you lack. I'll say that again. Focus on the things that you have, not the things that you lack, so that you can be grateful. The F in grateful is focus. Jesus saw the multitude. Jesus saw that it was just 5 loaves and 2 fishes. But Jesus was focused on the Father's ability to multiply what he already had. So focus on what you already have. Stop putting focus on what you lack. Because focusing on what you lack does not suddenly make what you lack become what you have. I'll say that again. Focusing on what you lack does not suddenly make what you lack becomes what you have. You must learn to focus on the things that you should focus on, which are the things that you have and the things that you should be grateful for. It is very important. You must learn to focus on the things that you have and not the things that you lack. Right? And then the you in grateful, why you should be grateful is because you are unique. You're not like everybody else. Right? You have your unique DNA. You have your unique fingerprint. You have your unique iris. You are not the same like everybody else. You are unique. So you should be grateful for your uniqueness. You should be grateful for your uniqueness. Right? You are wonderfully and fearfully made for a reason. So you should be grateful. You are dark skinned. You should be grateful. You are tall. You should be grateful. You are slim. You should be grateful. Whichever body physique you have, you should be grateful for your uniqueness. You are the only one in 8 billion people in the world. You are unique. Be grateful for your uniqueness. Nobody laughs the way you laugh. Nobody smiles the way you smile. Nobody talk the way you talk. Be grateful for your uniqueness. Nobody do things the way you do. Nobody thinks the way you think. Be grateful for your uniqueness. Be grateful for your uniqueness. Yeah, who you are. Be grateful for who you are. You're unique, right? You're not a copy of someone else. You are unique. You are you. Be grateful for your uniqueness. Be grateful. God made you that way because He knows that's the best way you can be made. Say that again. God made you that way because He knows that's the best way you can be made. So be grateful for your uniqueness. Stop trying to be like someone else. At best, when you copy, you only become the Pepsi to someone else's Coke. When you copy, that's the best. You become the Pepsi to someone else's Coke. No, be grateful for your uniqueness. Be grateful for your uniqueness. And then the L in grateful is love. When you realize how much you are loved, you should be grateful. Just having the consciousness of how much you are loved, you should be grateful. I was having a thought about consciousness yesterday while I was at a prayer meeting, and they were talking about the consciousness of God. And in my mind, you know how conscious you are when you know you have a certain amount in your account, right? You've seen the text message, you have that amount in your account. You open your bank app and you see the amount in your bank app. You are just conscious of it, right? Nobody can tell you you don't have it because you know you have it. You are conscious of it. The same way you should be conscious of the love of God for you. Right? You should be conscious of the love that God has for you. Be conscious of it. Like if you were the only one in the world, God will still come to die for you. You should be conscious of that love that God has for you. Literally, you should be conscious of it and be grateful for it. Be grateful for it. That you are loved of God, that He calls you His own, that He had made you co-heirs with Him. Be grateful. Be grateful for that love, that unconditional love. Like you didn't do anything to deserve it, and you cannot do anything to lose it. Like think about it. You didn't do anything to deserve it. You cannot do anything to lose it. Be grateful for the love. Be grateful for the love. Guys, this is what it means to be grateful. And this is why it's important that you are grateful. Understand that there has been growth in your journey. Understand that you are now taking responsibility. Understand that you are putting your ability to work. Understand that you are now trustworthy. Understand that you are excellent. Understand that you focus. Understand that you are unique. And understand that you are loved. This is enough to be grateful for. This is enough to be grateful for. Just the understanding of this is enough to be grateful for. So, regardless of where you are in your life, like I said earlier, being ungrateful won't get you out. It's being grateful that gets you out. So, it's time to switch to being grateful. It's time to switch to being grateful. Look at all the things that are working in your life. It's time to be grateful. When you are grateful, you put yourself in the position for more great things to happen to you. And like I said when I started, anyone who is not grateful is a great fool. And I don't believe that anyone who's watching this is a grateful. I know that those who are watching this are grateful. Guys, this is the much that we can take. But before we call this a day, does anybody have any questions they want to ask? So we can just probably take one or two questions and we'll call it a wrap. Do you anybody have any question that they would like to ask so that we can take your question before we call it a wrap for today? Guys, I'm super grateful to have you here. You guys are the real value adding personalities. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me every Fridays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. You have no idea how grateful I am. You have no idea how grateful. And I look forward to seeing you in person someday, right? When I come to your city or when I come to your country, look forward to meeting with you so we can just catch up and let you know how grateful I am that you have always been on this journey with us on the upgrade side of life. So, guys, I want to say a very big thank you for being here as always. Thank you so much. We don't take that for granted. Thank you. We are truly grateful to have you in our corner, and we are glad that you are making the necessary progress in your life journey, right? And this is just the beginning. More progress you would make because as you become grateful, you open yourself up for great things, right? As you become grateful, you open yourself up for great things. So, guys, thank you so very much for being here. Like we always tell you, there's always more on the upgrade side of life. So we encourage you to always leave good behind so that you can upgrade. And one way to always do that is to always be grateful. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.